Good day, everybody. This is Yin in California with morsels of a thought number 17, no, 1638. How are you doing this morning? We are going to go into a brain rescue by Dr. Brody Miller, PhD, who has his own experience of having a brain injury. And we are going to go through this 90-day blueprint to reclaim your memory after a brain injury or concussion. Brain Rescue is a life-changing guide packed with cutting-edge neuroscience, says John Assaraf. We're on page 81. Now, what we had been going into was the science of nasal breathing. The second step being N for nitric oxide, engage, the unsung hero for brain and body recovery, nitric oxide. This is cricket, isn't it? How do I change it? Oh boy. Okay, I think this is better. Sorry. You should see me at 6:08 a.m. Goodness gracious. Oh, maybe you shouldn't. Well, you can, but take action to create more experiences. Here's a tangible action for you. Each day, set aside a specific time, perhaps right after breakfast or before bed, to practice a simple memory exercise. Start by choosing a list of 5 words like apple, chair, ocean, book, and sun, and spend 10 minutes memorizing them. I think I actually accidentally turned the page. The science of nasal breathing. Here we are. Sorry. Bear with me, says the author. I'm going to get a little geeky with you, says the author. When you breathe in through your nose, several powerful physiological processes kick into gear that helps boost nitric oxide. Your nasal cavity is lined with specialized cells that produce nitric oxide. When you inhale through your nose, you draw air directly into these cells, allowing the NO, nitric oxide, to mix with the incoming air. This leads to a direct increase in the amount of nitric oxide entering your bloodstream. Nose breathing is incredible for health. To boost your nitric oxide levels, start by practicing deep nasal breathing to replace shallow, anxious breaths. Nitric oxide is written N, capital O, capital N, capital O. Just a few minutes every hour can help increase energy levels. Start by practicing deep nasal breathing to replace shallow, anxious breaths. You can also incorporate these simple habits below into your daily routine. Now, I do a martial art which is internal, and I do breathe very deeply. And for a long time, my oxygenation was 99% or something, and I really liked that. But it's gone down a little. However, the deep breathing is very important. It is also a Chinese martial art that you would do that. You would breathe deeply and smoothly, evenly, and slowly. Okay, 5 proven ways of boosting n- nitric oxide levels. Nitric oxide production helps calm your nervous system. Exercise regularly, as physical activity stimulates your body to produce more nitric oxide. Even light stretching or brisk walking can make a difference. Fuel up with greens like spinach, kale, and arugula. I grow arugula, which are rich in nitrates that your body converts into nitric oxide, promoting better circulation and memory. Spend time outdoors in the sunlight to stimulate nitric oxide production through ultraviolet light exposure, which also enhances energy levels. Now, yesterday I harvested a lot of arugula and I ate it all when I got home. Raw. Stay hydrated by drinking plenty of water as it supports overall bodily functions and aids in nitric oxide production. Practicing deep, continuous, and intense nasal breathing stimulates nitric oxide levels deeply, evenly, smoothly, and slowly. That's what I learned from the life science technology of a doctor named Dr. Yan Xing, Y-A-N. His first name is Xin. So that's a breathing technique you can use in addition to Dr. Brody Miller. Brody Miller says, five hidden normal, quote unquote, things that sabotage nitric oxide levels. Certain everyday habits could be sabotaging your nitric oxide levels without your realizing it. For instance, mouthwash may freshen your breath, but it also destroys the good bacteria needed to convert dietary nitrates into nitric oxide. Fluoride toothpaste can inhibit the body's ability to produce nitric oxide. If you frequently take antacids, be aware that they might hinder your stomach's nitric oxide production by reducing essential stomach acid. Processed foods also do little for your nitric oxide levels, so stick to nutrient rich whole foods to optimize your health. Now, Dr. Brody Miller earlier said that whenever you eat something, think about, will this help my brain health or will it take away from my brain health? And that'll help you not eat potato chips, not eat cereal, sweet cereal, things like that. Dr. Brody Miller says, a lack of sleep sabotages nitric oxide levels. Here's an action step. Boost your nitric oxide levels fast. Instructions for 2 minutes. Breathe in through your nose. We are reading Brain Rescue, a 90-day blueprint to reclaim your memory after a brain injury or concussion by Dr. Brody Miller, who wrote this about 3 years ago. I think it was 3 years ago, 2 years ago, something like that. 1 year ago. Very recently. Okay. Find a comfortable position. Sit or stand in a relaxed posture. Close your mouth and take a long, slow, deep, and steady breath through your nose. Pro tip: inhale as long and deeply as humanly possible. There are some people who can breathe for many hours. They can do about 30 breaths and it'll take many hours because they're doing the internal martial arts, which does the same thing as this is saying. Number 3, hold for a second, then exhale vigorously through your mouth. Repeat this for 2 minutes. The third step is G for gratitude. Gratitude makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. Melody Beattie. Beattie. Melody Beattie. Gratitude makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. In my early to mid-20s, I don't remember ever using the word gratitude. Gratitude is an absolute must in your recovery. I truly believed that someone couldn't be happy without drugs, alcohol, money, or sex, something on the outside of ourselves. But the truth is that it is a feeling that is cultivated from within. Gratitude is one of the best antidotes to stress and frustrations you will experience in your memory recovery journey. So, after my injury, I was removed from everything in my life. I had to relearn how to think, act, speak, and remember. So, I was forced to look within. It is a feeling that we get when we look at what we currently have as enough. Gratitude has been shown to positively affect many aspects of mental and emotional health, including memory. A study published in Frontiers in Psychology in 2017 examined the impact of gratitude journaling on memory formation and recall. There's a footnote. And participants who practiced gratitude by writing down things they were thankful for had improved recall of both positive and neutral events in their lives. Gratitude enhances the encoding of positive events into memory and improves recall, partly because it reduces stress, a factor that impairs memory. But also it is also closely lined to the ventromedial prefrontal cortex, which is an area tied to decision making, emotional regulation, and empathy. There's a footnote. And practicing gratitude will strengthen all these abilities. Gratitude starts from within and is a skill that you get better at over time with practice. I promise you that you can be grateful even on your worst days. Even on your worst days, you can say, I'm grateful that I have lived this long. Gratitude helps silence that dark inner voice, that monkey mind that distracts and lies to you. You know, that voice that says, you're not good enough, you're not worth it, you're not going to make it, who do you think you are to be doing this or that? And so many other lies. Don't listen to it. Instead, connect to your higher self by practicing gratitude. We're talking about higher self again, see? Every author here has been talking about the higher self. Let me be completely honest with you, friend. I am not proud of this at all. In the past, I had to go to jail for multiple DUIs, driving under influence. Only a few days of drinking led to the arrest. Prior to my relapse, I had 3 years of sobriety, and the only thing that kept me going in the right direction was gratitude for the simple things, like the fact that I was alive, that I had support from my family, I had food, and I was healthy. Was it easy? Hell no. I sure had plenty of negative moments along the way, but it allowed me to become a better person than I was before jail. It was absolutely terrifying on days when I thought I would have everything taken from me. The jailers were threatening to lock us away in segregation for weeks if we tested positive for COVID-19. We're talking a 23 and a half hour lockdown in a 4 by 6 cell. No BS. In fact, some of my fellow inmates in my pod tested positive and were taken to segregation for 2 weeks at a time. But even with the immense fear of testing positive weighing over my head, I told myself that even if that happens, I can still find gratitude in that cell that will help me grow into a better person. Gratitude was the strength that helped me move forward. Luckily, which is COVID-19, didn't happen to me, but I am just telling you that you have more strength within you than you would ever imagine, warrior. Capital W. Action step. Start small and build yourself up with gratitude. Step 1. At the beginning or end of each day, think about 3 things that you are grateful for: housing, food, warmth. Step 2. Slow down your breathing and close your eyes. I have to open them so I can read. Step 3. Feel into the emotion of gratitude, no matter how strong or how weak it feels. What it is if it's weak feeling, you just hold that thought there. Dr. Brody says, I promise you that even if you can feel the tiniest bit of gratitude, no matter how small, you can build up and grow that emotion over time. You got this, warrior. The 4th step is for anterior cingulate cortex, your warrior brain. We are reading from Brain Rescue, a 90-day blueprint to reclaim your memory after a brain injury or concussion by Dr. Brody Miller. He's on Instagram, by the way. By the way, the fourth step is A for anterior cingulate cortex, your warrior brain. An unknown person says, the moment you want to give up is the exact moment you need to keep going. That's where your strength lies. That's where change happens. In Chinese, there's a saying, this is the moment to stand up. This is when you stand up. 这个就是你现在要站起来。这个时候就是要站起来。This is the time when you need to stand up. It's the same as this quote. The moment you want to give up is the exact moment you need to keep going. That's where your strength lies. That's where change happens. An anonymous person. If you want to forge your path to recovery, this is Dr. Brody Miller, and unleash the full power of your brain, you need to tap into your anterior cingulate cortex, ACC, the epicenter of your warrior spirit. Get that? This part of your brain is where resilience is born, where you build the courage to push through, and where transformation becomes inevitable. I had no idea I had that part of the brain, a physical part like that. This is neat. A crucial element of brain recovery isn't just about what we actively pursue, it's also about what we resist doing. Ooh. Our brains are use it or lose it organs, just like the rest of our bodies. Think about it this way. When you hit the gym consistently, your muscles grow and get stronger. But if you neglect that discipline, your hard-earned gains start to fade away. The same principles apply to your brain cells. They thrive on the activities you engage in, but they can also shrink when you stop doing that activity. This is incredibly important for you to understand. The brain always takes the path of least resistance, but it is your job to create healthy patterns that you do so often that they become automatic. In other words, they become the path of least resistance for your brain. That's like, I think of Kung Fu. You know how people that do Kung Fu, they do the same action over and over and over and over and over again until their brain has it automatically packed into their brain, into their body. Your brain and body, yeah. Dr. Brody Miller says, now, let's talk about the anterior cingulate cortex. This part of your brain is crucial in this transformative journey. Recent studies show that when people tackle activities they initially resist, their ACC actually gets bigger. And there's a footnote. Think about that. In people who struggle with obesity, this brain region tends to be smaller. But in athletes and people who see themselves as overcoming challenges, the ACC grows significantly. To do this in the right way, you need to replace the old bad habits with good ones. It's not enough to create healthy habits. You also must eliminate old behaviors for a better life. The ACC is your warrior brain, but it only becomes that warrior if you see yourself as a warrior. My cousin tried to get rid of smoking. I gave him a set of white pens that looked like cigarettes, and he was playing with them. Anyway, it was a replacement behavior for him. So, Dr. Brody Miller says, how do you foster that warrior mindset daily? It's simple. By creating non negotiable habits and cultivating non negotiable energy. Shower and teeth, shower and teeth, shower and teeth. Every time you choose to, see, this is additions by Yin Yang. Every time you choose to engage in an activity that builds you up or resist an urge that pulls you down, you are directly strengthening your ACC. I'm going to read that sentence again. He says, every time you choose to engage in an activity that builds you up or resist an urge that pulls you down, you are directly strengthening your ACC. But it doesn't stop there. You're also fortifying your frontal lobe, hippocampus, and other vital brain regions connected to memory. When you push through the resistance, whether it's staying focused on a task, solving a tough problem, or avoiding distractions, you are paving the way for stronger connections and pathways in your brain. So here's the challenge. Dr. Brody Miller has so many exercises for you to do. So many. And keeping in mind what you ingest, what you eat and drink will either help your brain or hurt your brain or whatever. But it will either help your brain or hurt your brain. Think about it that way. So here's the challenge. Every time you face an obstacle, whether it's a fleeting urge to give up or the fatigue that tells you to quit, dig deep and engage your warrior spirit. Remember, your brain is a powerhouse of resilience. Embrace the struggle. Celebrate every small victory. The harder you work against the resistance, the more powerful your mind becomes. So once you get there, exercise it, do it over and over again. Take action now. He says, write down one non negotiable habit you will commit to every day for the next week. Make it something that challenges you, something that requires you to show up for yourself even when you don't want to. It could be a workout, a meditation session, or even studying something new. Don't back down. Every time you conquer that challenge, you're not just building a habit, you're building a stronger, more resilient warrior inside you. Let's turn that ACC into a fortress and watch your mind sharpen like a sword. Are you a warrior who takes action or a warrior that doesn't? It's time to step up and show the world who you are. Saturday, tomorrow, I will read George J. Chano's Millennial Samurai, and the word samurai means warrior. Warrior. And all in the same we're all on the same page here. Um Next week for Friday, we will read the fifth step, or the fifth step is G for gamify it. Chapter 5, the second pillar, E is for E.N.G.A, engage. So we're on the letter G. Okay, so I will talk to you again later. Keep this book in mind. Please go get it. It is so good. It's got so much information in it. I can't say it's short, but it's very compact. Everything in it is important. Every sentence. Okay? So I'll see you tomorrow. And I talk about an an old man who does virtuous things, old Martin Van Buren, an eighth president of the United States. He was known as Old Kinderhook for his location of his hometown, Kinderhook. So we get okay from that. Okay? Old Kinderhook!